am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we have Marc, Lamont Hill, and Ray Daniels getting into a heated debate over the recent DDG and Halle Bailey controversy. Now, if you don't know, Halle Bailey filed a restraining order on DDG and got granted that restraining order after presenting evidence to the courts that he was beating on her. And apparently, Ray Daniels and Marc Lamont Hill feel different about the situation. Let's listen.
His partner, Halle Bailey, or former partner, filed for solo custody, temporary physical and legal custody of their son, Halo. She says that DDG abused her both emotionally and physically. And because of those allegations, she has been granted that custody. Of course, the internet always has their opinions on what that means or the why of it. And I think there's a temporary, there's also temporary restraining order where he has to remain over 100 yards away from both her and the baby. And that expires on the court hearing date, which is June 4th.
See, this is my thing. If he did those things, then get DDG the fuck out of here. But if he didn't do those things, there's a clear blueprint and pamphlet that's being handed out to women as how to railroad a nigga that they trying to railroad.
It's the easiest way.
If I want full custody, I don't want this nigga to see the kid. I want him to lose all rights and privileges. Then when I found this shit that I'm about to file, I'm about to say a whole bunch of nasty things. And when you get your lawyer, he'll tell you that those things are for public finding. So true or not, it's going to read, hey, he did X, Y, and Z. And that's going to make you look away. There's no way for an innocent man to win in this. I'm not speaking on whether he's innocent or not. I do not know.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say, my only thing is that it doesn't matter. The world's gonna hate. The world's gonna hate DDG. He's a monster. Fuck him. He needs to die. He needs to go away. And they're gonna go. And he has to go through all of this process. So for me, I just wish that we can get back to the place where we give. And it feels like it's a man thing. Like men, the due process of like finding all of the things rather than just automatically painting them as a bad picture. Because to me, it's like we be with the shit sometimes too. We do it together. So, but for some reason, it's like with Bobby and Whitney. Everybody was like Bobby got on drugs. And after Whitney goes, and everybody's like,
turns out
Bobby was like, I was the lightweight. But it's like, but look at how much Bobby's career suffered because they thought that he was that. So to me, it's like
niggas ain't weighing the risk when they dating Angel Face. She just angel face, beautiful, young, world loves her. Nobody would ever think that Angel Face could be on bullshit.
If that's the case.
If that's the case. And this is where, for me, the believe women conversation has to begin. And this is what I mean. Because people often hear when I say believe women, that means believe all women at all times under all circumstances. And that is not the case. For me, it is, though, let's begin from a presumption of honesty and innocence from the person making the claim. That same benefit should be given to men. It's just that's not usually a struggle,
That's
though.
not what we do.
So you know, if a dude calls and says certain things happen, we may be more inclined to buy it. You know, not the courts. I'm talking about us in our society. Courts don't listen to men, black men, very often at all.
We don't either.
Right. And so when in this case, I would say, let's investigate. Let's find out what really happened. But if she says that she's been physically and emotionally abused, and emotional abuse can be more complicated too, because that can be, you know, that there's relationships, and every relationship to somebody who's probably saying they're being emotionally abused, right? I'm not to dismiss it, just say it's complicated. But if she says, this motherfucker's hitting me, and I feel unsafe, I don't want to begin from a presumption that she's not telling the truth. And I think what I'm seeing online is a lot of people beginning from that place, that this is spite, this is this. And again, I don't doubt that their relationship is wrong.
That's what you see? I see this.
Because I see what Marc's saying.
There's too many
situations, Marc, there's too many situations of women crying wolf, Marc. There's too many situations of women crying wolf. And these things keep coming out. So it's hard for you to just look at somebody and say, oh, she's completely innocent. You know what I mean? When
I think statistically, there's probably more cases of domestic violence than there are.
Yes, that's back in the days.
It's
not
back
in the days. It's
right
now. No, wait, stop. Because y'all do this a lot, and then it cuts. Give me a second.
Finish it off.
I'm not talking about the domestic violence issue. I'm talking about right now on the internet, on the internet currently, there are a lot of false reports that's happening against men and men that are in position. They're finding it is happening currently. Domestic violence, of course, is still going on. Of course, from back in the days, women hide, they're scared to leave. They end up going back home, and a lot of things, the worst things happen to them. I'm not negating that. I'm just saying right now, with social media being involved, there are a lot of cases that's coming out where people are lying. Women are lying on men. I just want to make that point clear.
I would like to add to Flip's point, but I want to take the focus off of the women and put it on the attorneys of women. Like,
it's big business right now.
That's where a lot of the shit that the attorneys come in and say, what are you trying to get done? This is the way to get that done. The attorneys come in and encourage certain things to be said on these reports, especially if it's a man with some type of clout or power.
Hey, we just talked about, you just brought it up, Wayne kicking old girl out the house. Yeah. What if she went to a lawyer first before the internet?
I do you one better than that. Marc just said the other day, some of the things that come along with Tony Busby, I look at with a different eye.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, why do we look at it with a different eye? Because we know that there's attorneys out there that's playing certain games and using people, most times women, as pawns to get their shit off. That should not negate the women that this actually happens to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my only thing is that we just got to get to a place where men are losing things and collapsing before we even go through the process. Yeah. And to me, it's like, and let me tell you something, bro. This really happened to me. I know these guys ain't smart. I really think I'm smart. Like, you can't. I'm ready ahead. So a girl I'm in a relationship with, very known girl, comes to my hotel room because she think I got a girl there. I don't want to let her in, and then I let her. I'm like, there's no girl in here. So she pushes the door open and she attacks me. She attacks me the whole time. We in my hotel room. As much as I'm getting attacked, Joe, the Virgo in me is saying, Ray, say something loud. So I'm saying, stop hitting me. Stop throwing stuff at me. Stop hitting me. What are you doing? So when the police come, because they came to the room, and she's like, they said all they heard was a man yelling for a woman to stop hitting him. That's why I got off. Now, imagine I wasn't smart to do that.
Exactly.
And that was my first day at Epic Records, my first A&R meeting. I just didn't want to be around her. And I went to focus on my shit. And she thought I had a girl, came and attacked me, and all that happened. And guess what? I'm like, yo, this can go bad. She's hit me. I'm just like, somebody hearing. These dudes ain't young enough to understand it. You got to remember something. And it's not saying who's right, who's wrong. But let's be clear. DDG is connected to whoever he's connected to, but it's not as strong as the people that Halle is connected to.
Sure enough.
Same with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. So let's stop acting like there are people that are like, I know how to get around this, but we got to hit first. And this is how we hit. And it's unfair. But I'm telling you, and that same chick tried to ruin my career, told everybody he hit me, he did this. It was a lie. Mm-hmm. It was a lie. And guess what I had to do? I went and got her back in front of all of them just to show them she was lying. So now I'm at the table with her again, like we together. And they looking like, what is he doing here if he was that person? Nigga, I wasn't. She was lying. She just wanted y'all to hate me because she know I got the glow and she don't. That really be happening sometimes. Sorry.
Dog, I could talk for hours on my experiences, but
women be out here trying to get you. You meet a chick, they want money. It's natural. And by the way, men trying to get women. We all trying to get each other. We trying to get to what we want, and they trying to get what they want. But what I'm saying is that everybody's not all, one side is not all guilty and one side is not all innocent. And I'm like a fan of yours when you came out. But the thing I like the most about you, I went to talk to you because I'm like, this nigga always takes the women's side. Like, Marc, damn, like, can a man, like, Marc, I love Marc, but I'm like, he always takes the woman's side.
Some tight-ass hoodies.
And listen, if he's a man and he says he's a trans man, she's going to take his side even more because as a woman, you take that. And I'm just like, Marc, we are black men are being attacked, and you are one of the biggest voices out here. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is that if you don't give a voice a reason, one of the smart ones, I'm going to look at it as an ignorant nigga, but you're a smart one. So if you don't give reason, nigga, you just allowing them to railroad as many of our black men as possible.
When have I ever said anything?
No, Marc, Marc, you always say I'm with a woman. I'm with her. That's why I knew you was. That's why we brought it up. I'm like, I can't wait to hear what Marc gonna say.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. But have you ever seen me take an unreasonable position on an issue between men and women?
I'm a fan of yours. You never take.
I don't think.
But it feels like it's always if a man did it, he's the piece of shit.
You feel like that's what happened in this conversation today?
No, not right now, but I wanted to get your thoughts. That's why I brought it up.
Because right now you're not watching the clip, you're watching the whole conversation. A lot of times it's nuanced.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's true. That's true too.
When you hear the whole conversation.
But that's why I wanted to get your opinion on it. But at the same time, I'm telling you, as brilliant as you are, at some point in time, as black men, because you got to look at, listen, I worked in the music business, and for 15 years of my career, I was clear, Joe. I didn't know I was black. I was the black guy that did business with everybody. So when you get in those rooms, you start hearing how they try you, how they drop notes. So it's a really slick, like what they call passive aggressive way of putting things in the air, saying how Joe gonna feel for this. So they'll be in the staff meeting and be like, Jay-Z is really not gonna let anybody make money with him. So why we do business with him? A white man says that. What do you think he's saying that for? He's trying to read the room. Let me see how these motherfuckers gonna react so I can know how far I could take it. So when you just like, yeah, he did it, they're like, well, the educated man is saying he did it. We can all say, when you should say, let's go through the due process. I love Halle, I love DDG, but I always look at who's connected to who because they were young and in love. Right. Somebody was in the house like, this how we gonna handle this. Right. DDG is a little nigga that just wants to fucking stream. That's all he wants to do is stream and rap. Yeah. I don't know what she is. And by the way, if you follow DDG, he talks about music, streaming, and his child.
And his kid.
And that's all he cares about.
That lady.
And another thing.
Remember, I
didn't say that he couldn't have done those things.
No, that's my point. By the way, I'm not saying that at all. I don't want to say that.
Ray Daniels, I'm gonna have to stop you there. That's cap. While yes, DDG does do a lot of music on his stream, he does talk about music on his stream, and when he can have his son on stream, he will bring his son on stream. A lot of his streams be him just chilling with women. That's what really gets the people going for some reason. But, that's cool, too. If you got motion, as the kids would say, you might as well use it. Why not? Anyways, interesting conversation here. While, yes, Marc Lamont Hill is always the type to take the woman's side, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. To be honest, I love women. And, if you can find a way to be on their side, might as well. It's just... For me, when it's obvious, it's obvious. In this situation, I don't think it's that obvious, I think at the end of the day, Halle came with these claims. She's even saying in the fucking restraining order or the fucking court document that she has ring camera footage of the exact situation that she's referring to where he hit her head on the steering wheel and all this extra shit. So... at the end of the day, DDG is yet to really, truly, of course he denies these things. Of course he says these things aren't true. And you have his brother out here. He's definitely pushing the narrative that Halle was abusive herself and they had weird shit going on. So it's clear that both sides are trying to say that this relationship was very toxic. But at the same time, where I lie is... when she started playing around or, he couldn't have access to his son like he wanted to and he got on the stream and told the whole world that, I think that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, he shouldn't have did that. If he knew this was coming, if he knew this is how she was moving, this is how she was acting, and then you had everybody else. You even have Act went viral for for him warning DDG of what was going to happen after DDG came out and said he can't see his son. So you literally had people telling you, this is what she's about to do. You need to get in front of this. And he never got in front of it. He never got in front of it. He just let it happen. I'm shocked still. I'm like, you kind of saw this coming, and instead of like trying to fight it through the means that she's going to use to fight it, you didn't do that. You said, fuck it. It is what it is. No, that's just, to me, that's not what I'm doing. Megan Thee Stallion, it went off on Tory Lanez, and I'm not gonna do a video on that, but it is poignant to bring it up here because in it she says this nigga didn't take the stand and say himself that he didn't shoot me, and he had every chance to, and he could have, but he didn't. And this whole time I've been over here saying, why didn't he take the stand? And every reason we get, at least from his team and from people around him, they sit here and tell us, oh, he didn't take the stand because he didn't want to be looked at as a snitch. He didn't want to be looked at as a rat. He wanted the evidence to prove his innocence. And it's just like, Meg makes a point. Everyone makes a point. I made a point. If he didn't do it, why he didn't get on that fucking stand and say he didn't do it? Maybe that's probably because he did. Now, while I still am in the belief that Tory Lanez didn't shoot Megan Thee Stallion, I still do believe that. I feel like it's two things, right? Either he's a fucking idiot or he shot her. I'm sorry. I think Tory Lanez is that dumb. He's stupid enough to think that he's Yo Gotti or Young Thug or anybody else that caught a famous Rico. He really thinks he's that top gangster nigga. So in his head, he thinks it's the top gangster nigga. If I get on the stand and tell them that Kelsey shot Megan Thee Stallion, I wouldn't even be able to be cool with myself because now I'm a snitch. Now I'm a rat. And yes, anybody, at least who's Tory Lanez, who thinks that is an idiot. So I can believe he's a fucking idiot. I can believe he's stupid. I could believe that everything that his team is saying him, I didn't get on the stand because I didn't want to be a snitch. He's an idiot. He's dumb. He's dumb. So that's why I don't believe Tory Lanez shot Megan. Because he's a fucking idiot. Clearly. Clearly. But regardless of it, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, where my camera keeps going in and out like a fucking California burger restaurant. Peace.